Don here from the board. Thank you for coming on and checking out another video. So today I got another package in the mail, which is from Juju Cables. So Juju Cables were kind enough to send me a couple of USB cables for the Sydney Meetup raffles. So we're going to have a quick look at that and see how they go. But before we get into that, I thought I'd just give a bit of update in regards to what's happening with the meetup and what else is also happening with the channel. So right now, we're about a month out from the meetup. We've had a good response. We've got about 300 odd raffle tickets that have actually been sold. So there's a good mix there, although there are definitely some players who have a lot of raffle tickets under their belts. And we've already seen 2 keyboards that are up for grabs, some brass plates, PCB. We've also seen, of course, these USB cables, as well as a keycap from Jellikey. And I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more coming in the next couple of weeks in time for the meetup. So if you haven't already and you're sitting on the fence, it doesn't cost you anything at all to pre-register for the Sydney meetup, and you'll get 1 free raffle ticket, which gives you better than no chances at winning any of those fantastic goodies which are going to be there. Now, in terms of our YouTube channel, if you haven't subscribed, of course, please do, because we're getting closer and closer to our next giveaway, which is going to be at 600 subscribers. Now, we haven't actually drawn the 500 subscribers yet, but that will happen this weekend. So if you haven't already on that, check out the link below from this video for the gleam.io link to that giveaway. So let's not delay any further and let's check out some of Juju Cables. Now, it was sent to me in a nice little mailer box, which I haven't opened yet, so I'm just going to crack that open and see what we get. Hopefully I don't cut through the cables or anything like that, because that would be terrible. Absolutely terrible and embarrassing. So I'm going to try and carefully disseminate this box. He's added a bit of tape to it as well on top of the actual sealed tabs. Alrighty. So there's a bit of foam in here, and there's 2 cables. There's a bit of paper from Juju Cable and their logo. Ah, yes. Before I go any further, let's have a look at his Instagram. So there you go. There is Juju Cable's Instagram. So if you do have Instagram and you want to follow him and check out what he makes and some of the cool stuff that he does, please by all means head over to instagram.com/JujuCables. Some lovely pictures over there. So even TRRS cables for things like Ergodox, Let's Split and so forth. Yeah, so it looks to be fledgling, only 9 posts, but I'm sure it's going to grow over time. Alrighty. So, he sent over 2 cables. Thank you very much. And here we go. So we've got one which is slightly thinner than the other. The ends have been covered with tape to give them a bit of protection, of course, which is fantastic. It's just masking tape. Bit of rainbow colored and just a straight out sort of green color. Now, I'm just going to hold this up so we can see, maybe. Let's see if I can get a bit of an upper focus, because there's a bit of definition there. There we go. So let's there we go. So it's quite nice. It's a braided paracord cable by the looks of it. It's got a fantastic pattern. It's nice and supple. You can sort of, well, you can see as I lower it down, it's got a good, let's see if the camera wants to play nice. There we go. It's got a good amount of bend and flex to it. It's definitely not hard, and it's not sort of kinking. It's just gently relaxing back into its natural position. Now this one's quite a sort of shortish cable. In terms of hand span, it's probably about 80 centimeters or so, without actually pulling a tape measure out. And what I do know is that the actual heat shrink that's being used on this is thick heat shrink. This is one of those sort of selling points for Juju cables, is that they use very thick heat shrink, and you can sort of see that there, slightly out of focus, how thickish it actually is. Maybe it's going to be a little bit easier to see on that camera. Maybe not. All right, not having a terribly good job, but keeps breaking focus. Anyway, it's quite thick. If I do pull out the ruler and measure the thickness of that, you're looking at, it's about 2 mil thick in the heat shrink. So it's very thick compared to conventional heat shrink, which is much thinner. Now I'm going to be just very carefully peeling back this this tape. It's just standard USB. It's not gold plated or anything like that, nothing fancy, but then again, you don't really need it to be, and you can see how, come on. I really need a way. I know that somebody said use grid printed stuff to force focus quicker and easier, but I've been lazy and I haven't got down to that yet. So there we go. So you can actually see how thick the heat shrink is around that. It's actually almost the same thickness as if you had some of those really thin commercial cables that you get for like charging your phone and so forth. So that's pretty cool. And on this side, now it's obviously I'm going to just rewrap these in more masking tape, which I have plenty of, so we won't be too worried about that. And yeah, so we've got the standard mini B connector as well, and you can see it's good amount of heat shrink, nice and fat around that. In terms of the length of the actual heat shrink, that's another thing that quite often you might see could be a little bit short on some. It's a good distance. Let's have a look. It's about 1 centimeter from the base of the actual USB connector itself. I probably would have preferred to see it even maybe another 5 mil longer, because that would help protect the connections there from flex damage and pulling and so on and so forth. But I think because of the thickness, it's very stiff. You're not feeling anything happening there at all. Now, if we move on to the next cable, I'm just going to lightly coil this and I'll tape it later. This is a much harder feeling outside. I don't know what it is, but it's some kind of plastic sheathing. It might be Tex-Flex or it could be something else. It is a braided hard plastic material. Once again, let's hold up that so the keyboard can try and get a bit of focus. Come on. There we go. And you can see that braided cable. It's quite durable feeling. It's quite strong feeling. But what's really nice about it is I actually thought this would be much stiffer compared to the rainbow cable, but it's not. It's actually just as, like, I'm barely doing anything with it, and see how well it flexes, and it just gently relaxes back. It doesn't spring back at all. So I think whatever this sheathing is it's pretty cool. And you can get a nice sort of tight, well, I wouldn't say super tight, but it's a good comfortable radius on it as well. And it does have that springy resistance for protection against kinking. The thickness of the heat shrink is just as evident here. It's much easier to see, of course, because of the white contrast against the black. And you're going to get pretty much the same two connector ends, so I won't bother unwrapping that. In terms of length, of course, if he's been pretty standard, this one's a little bit longer, just past 1 centimeter or so. But of course, still a little bit longer would be, yeah, it's a little bit longer. Probably another couple mil would be about what I was requesting for, about 15 mil in length. So, and of course on the short side, the white is also a bit longer as well. So there you go, a very nice set of USB cables in terms of length. This one's actually much longer by comparison. So if I hold out the two side by side, you'll see there's the rainbow one ending there, and then the green one ends a bit further down, probably about a foot and a bit longer. yeah, about 1.5 foot longer. So yeah, he's capable of making whatever lengths that you're after, to a certain degree, of course. So, what do we know about Juju cables besides very loud motorbikes in the background here? They look really great. They feel really great. I don't have any doubt about that they're going to work, so I'm not going to bother trying to plug them in and whatnot. And they'll stay as, I guess, virgin cables, except for whatever testing Juju Cable has done on them after building them. And some very lucky people, hopefully it'll be 2 different people, not the same person, will have an opportunity to win these at the Sydney meetup. So there you go. Thank you very much to Juju Cable. Now I'm just, of course, going to bring back up the Instagram as well so that you can check it out, and make sure you head over and follow Juju Cables if you want to see more of their work. Plus, of course, you can get hold of them, as it says over here, at jujucables@gmail.com if you're interested in getting a custom cable made by him. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for coming along, of course, as usual. And as a reminder, please like, share, subscribe, comment, if there's anything that you want to see from Juju Cables or from us. Any feedback is always better than no feedback. All right? Great. So, we'll end it there. And, yeah, hopefully we'll see more reviews coming along our way very, very soon, including one for... Oh, I've still got the web page up, so let me go back to the desk. So, at the moment, I'm actually in the process of reviewing this, which is the latest offering from Plugable, which is the Plugable Performance Mouse. So I'm currently testing it. It's been a couple of days in, and very soon I'll actually also complete that video and get that review up as well. So if you're looking for a new mouse, yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. All right, great. So, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.